But in terms of actually having that mental conversation with myself of moving past struggles or hiccups that happen, I like to think about just doing just one more. And that's all I tell myself. Whether that means just one more post, or I just need to do like one more minute or one more hour, or even if it's just a step, just one more step.
So, by the way, my name is Shine. And then, as I just posted on Threads, so I'm planning to create some contents of
Yeah.
entrepreneurs and then especially focusing on failures because, and the failures and how they got over those because the motivation was like when I read self-help books and usually they deal with how they started the business and
Yep.
then usually they just focus on how big success they made. But actually, the self-help books, so their lack of the process, how they failed of the things. So that's why I want to inspire other entrepreneurs through my content. So
Okay, great.
yeah. So I actually I'm working in education field,
Great.
yeah, and then many of them are entrepreneurs. So yeah,
Yeah,
actually, they gave me the inspiration for this.
that's great. I love
Yeah,
it.
thanks. So can you tell me about yourself?
So, my name is Michael Drattel, and own and operate Mission Assist Deliveries. And I am also the CEO and co-founder of Mission Assist 360, which is a platform that allows drivers, carriers, managers, and fleets to manage their back office business all in one place. Think of it like a transportation monitoring system on steroids. But there's just so many tools I couldn't even begin to name them all. I got started in this business almost 18 years ago, and I started working in the warehouse on forklifts and then kind of moved up to a warehouse manager. And
Mm.
then I eventually got my commercial driver license, and I went over the road, and then I worked local. I've worked for like one of the largest chemical hauling companies in the world. In fact, I actually believe they even have a couple branches there in South Korea.
Oh,
And yeah, yeah. So they're pretty big. I actually ended up working my way up to management. And so at one point in time, I was managing like 50 drivers across almost like 2,500 square miles, which is pretty big for us. And I was working like 80, 90 hours a week. My phone would ring on the
uh,
weekends. I would get phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning just because we did not set the people up below us for success. So they basically called for every little thing.
mhm.
And so, what led me to start this company is we had an employee who was not doing well performance-wise.
Oh,
And
yeah. So the story you texted me.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
yeah.
I
So
figured you'd want to hear that and kind of how that went. And so he wasn't doing well performance-wise, but he wasn't like a bad employee. He wasn't. And the guy was like driving an hour to work, and he has like three generations of people in his household. He's in his 50s. Let me silence this darn phone. I am so sorry. Why the emails keep
okay.
coming
Yeah.
today?
No worries.
And so he was just overwhelmed, and it wasn't his fault. We put a lot on his plate.
Uh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we were going to move him to a customer facing role where he just kind of answers phone and emails. It's really easy, not a problem. And his brother was sick, and his brother ended up dying from cancer. And it's terrible,
Oh,
but his
I'm
brother died
sorry.
on like a Thursday. And
Mm,
that very next day, the operations manager came to us and was like, honestly, we don't want him in a customer facing role, just fire him. And it
mm,
was really unfortunate. Like here, you get bereavement time, time to be with your family and make arrangements. And so my boss and I kind of went to him and said, you've got to give him more time. At the very least, you've got to give him more time. And the operations manager's response was, timing's unfortunate, but cut him loose. And so that was kind of the last final straw for me. My daughter-in-law just picked up a kitten, and so we have a puppy in the house, and the puppy is
oh,
very into the kitten as well. And so I can hear the puppy kind of trying to get into some things. So anyhow, I apologize for that. You probably have to cut that one
no,
out.
it's not. Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So anyhow, that led me to go, you know what? I've done everything in this business except
Mhm.
for kind of putting my name on the dotted line.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically decided, let's go ahead and start our own company. We'll be our own carrier. I know plenty from the safety and compliance and all that. So we started that. And so now we have a truck that runs over the road here in the United States. And then through managing the finances in Excel and kind of trying to understand the back office paperwork, that led me to found Mission Assist 360. Mission Assist 360 ended up being the software that we developed for the truck driver. So that's
Oh,
kind of, yeah,
wow.
so that's
So you develop
I end up I
your
have two businesses now.
okay, wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So and you introduced your business fully on Threads. So you're running two businesses and then
Mhm.
it's been like 18 years.
Yeah, so I have been in this business for about 18 years.
Uh-huh,
The truck driving and delivery side is
uh-huh.
just over a year old, and the software side of it is
Hmm.
about a month old. So, but granted, it's been in development. You know, the team's worked really, really hard, which my son is on the team. I couldn't be more proud of him. He is holding down a regular job as a DevOps while also developing this on his spare time with me. So I'm
Hmm.
very, very lucky, very fortunate.
That's great. Yeah. So the thing is, then while you're developing software, then was there any kind of a rough patch or yeah, so how did it go?
Oh boy. So what's really interesting is trying to make the business work, the delivery side of the business work. It has
Uh,
its own unique challenges and struggles. From the
uh-huh.
software side, which I think kind of is what you're asking about a little bit more now, it's interesting because as we were building, we're actually on almost like revision three. And what I mean by that is at one point in time, we thought we were very close to releasing, but then the way that we had to manage our data and all that, we had a huge setback and we basically had to start over basically from scratch, completely tear the system down and start over because what was really going on is, you know, as you build a foundation, if the foundation is crooked and
Uh-huh.
then you continue to build on it, things just get
Uh-huh.
more and more and more crooked. So we basically came to the realization and understanding that like this sucks, but let's rebuild it
Mhm.
now before we've gone too far
Mhm.
into it. So I mean, we've been working on this, wow, since January of this year. And we started rebuilding, I'd say May. Yeah, probably about May.
Actually, well, so not exactly same like that case, but I wasn't there. Yeah, so I just worked on a project for 1 month, and then I lost several hundred, not several hundred, about I just lost $2,000, and then yeah, so it's just a tiny little yeah compared to
Ooh.
cases, but still I was so frustrated, and it happened maybe this January. And I
Yeah.
was totally frustrated, so I couldn't do anything for a month.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, but it's not only me. So yeah, and so can you tell me about the setback then? Well, then the other entrepreneurs who are going through the same situation, yeah, so they may be encouraged.
Yeah, honestly, so I'll mention a couple if you'd like. One is
Uh,
hearing the word no, because that's, I think everybody hears that word at one point in
mhm.
time. And I
Okay.
think what it's really about is how you take that word no. And do you take that word and just hear it and shut down, which I would advocate that's the wrong thing to do? Do you take that word no and maybe even go another step further and ask why? Is there something that we as business owners and entrepreneurs can do differently to make our product better, more attractive, more functional for our end user or ideal customer? Or,
Mhm.
you know, does it make you hungry? Are you someone who hears the word no and goes, I must have asked the question wrong. That's my fault. So some of those setbacks, you know, from the delivery side of it, when you're here, when you're brand new, if you have less than 6 months of time with your business being started, no one really wants to work with you because, of course, you're new and you could fail or you don't know what you're doing. So that was one of the real big challenges with the delivery side is hearing that word and then having to just kind of pick yourself up, keep moving, try again with the same customer, try again with a different customer. And, you know, every time you at least have the conversation, and I look at this kind of from a sales perspective, every time you have a conversation about your product with someone, it's an opportunity to hone that conversation, to make it better, to word it a little differently and kind of play with things. And then that's eventually kind of how you develop a good system. And so I would say moving past your failures or struggles or anything like that, showing up every day is the key.
Right. And then the thing is, so of course you felt kind of frustrated then. So were there any kind of tips or kind of advice to get over it as soon as possible? Like also in my case, yeah, for a month, I just what did I do? I just ate a lot and then yeah, so binging on some snacks and then yeah, so it's not really healthy way. So I just wanted to ask you, so would be there any healthy ways to get over yeah, those things, those failures?
So it's funny, you and I have that in common. I eat my feelings too. So there are some healthy things that really help me, and they're pretty universal. I think the basic things you can do in your lifestyle that everybody should be doing anyhow is making sure that A, we're getting enough sleep, B, we're
Mm,
drinking enough water, and
yeah.
C, we're getting enough exercise. For me, the exercise portion of that is really, really important. I'm kind of an early morning exercise person because I feel like if I just get it out of the way, it's done
Uh-huh.
with. I also know that I feel better. I know that I respond to stress and external stimuli better. So there's that. But in terms of actually having that mental conversation with myself of moving past struggles or hiccups that happen, I like to think about just doing just one more. And that's all I tell myself. Whether that means just one more post, or I just need to do like one more minute or one more hour, or even if it's just a step, just one more step. And you almost kind of, like we all see in the movies where like somebody has to move a pile of rocks from here over to here, and they go,
Uh,
oh my goodness, it's this huge mountain of rocks. I'll never get this done. Just
uh,
move one rock. And then on your way back, you know what? I'm just going to move one
yes.
rock. And little by little, that's the part about showing up every day and putting a little bit in
Mm-hmm.
is eventually that mountain moves from here to over here. And succeeding in business is really just get one thing done. And it doesn't have to be kilometers of distance. Just take one step. And every day that next step and that next step will lead you to your goal.
I get it. Wow. So so did you learn it by yourself or did you get it from some others or just you realized it through your experiences?
Well, I mean, so I did serve in the military. That did help a lot.
Oh.
I do think though that we learn more from our failures than we do our successes. And I think
Mhm.
that to learn that you have to be willing to learn that though. I think you have to be willing to kind of take that in and have a little bit of time with yourself and go, well, what went wrong? What happened? What did I do? How could I have done this differently? So I would say a lot of that is also life experience, messing up or having a problem or tripping and falling. And it's really just about picking yourself up.
Mhm. By the way, have you read the book called Can't Hurt?
No, I haven't. Let me write it down. Tell me
Actually,
about it.
yeah, so but let me just Google it because a friend of mine he recommended the book, but the author of the book says he learned a lot from the military service. Maybe he went to
Okay.
Navy SEAL and then
Ah,
and let me check. Yeah, and I read the book. I read half of the book, and then it just gave me such a big inspiration. So yeah, and the story of his life is just amazing. Can't hurt me. Yeah. So let me
okay.
just check it. And the author is David Goggins.
Now I do know who David Goggins is.
Oh wow, you know of him. Oh.
Yeah, yeah. David Goggins
uh,
is someone who has mastered perseverance. And what I mean by that is, I was talking about just one more. He's that's I would say that's probably a mantra he could get on board with. He is someone who wants people to know that consistency is key. Pushing yourself to the limit will show you that you have actually a higher limit. And when people want to give up, they have more in the tank when it comes to like fuel. You've got more in the tank than you realize. All you have to do is just dig deep. And he kind of explores the ideas of why some people are able to dig deep and then why some people are not. Or sometimes they choose not to dig deep, that's a very interesting distinction to make.
so you haven't read the book, but how? Yeah. So in what ways? Yeah, you got to know him. Like,
Well, David Goggins is pretty popular in the military, first of all. Second of all, he also is a very big fitness guy.
uh-huh.
And so he also, I think he does some motivational speeches now and things like that. He's kind of diversified some of the things that he gets into. I first became aware of David Goggins through more of the military fitness side.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. So, and then, yeah, so his book was a really big inspiration for me. And recently I read the book of oh, I forgot his family name, but he is quite a famous self-help speaker, Anthony, and he wrote a book, Giant Within You.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So and yeah, so he is a quite so famous self-help speaker, and then yeah, also the book helped me in the way so the book helped me to write 10 things, 10 quick mood changers, and then I wrote 100 things actually, yeah, on the book.
Wow.
Yeah, and actually, partially it helped me to get over the failures. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
because of mood. Yeah, so that's one of the important things to get over the things. So yeah, and I wonder, so you're interested in reading self-help books or taking self-help lectures?
I don't typically. I mean, it's I when I read, I'm reading like three different books right now, and I kind of just pick and choose which one I'm in the mood for. I don't typically, but it's not that I don't or I'm someone who if I hit some kind of a challenge, I'll go on what I call YouTube University. I'll see because I
University.
YouTube University, I'll just go on YouTube or
Uh-huh.
I'll utilize AI in some way, shape, or form. And I mean, you think about the struggle, whatever struggle you have that you're going through right now, someone
Mhm.
else has probably already gone through it in some way, shape, or form. Let's see who that is. Yeah. So I'm reading three books at this point in time. So my self-help for me kind of looks like using some of my friends and family for ideas, and I'll utilize AI a little bit. And I feel like basically any issue I may personally run into, somebody has already dealt with in one way or another, and I can probably find guidance
Mhm.
on that.
Got it. All right. And well, so this might be personal question. But so
Sure.
yeah, so actually I have several threads, sorry, accounts, and then one in Korean and two in English. And then
Yeah.
I've started writing on the accounts like it's been only 2 or 3 days. And then I was really happy so to get the message from you. And I wonder, so what made you to start writing on threads? What made you to, so what got you to start, communicating through threads? I wonder.
You know what's really interesting is I
Or,
got on Threads initially to see if I could help market our software. And so I didn't realize Threads was the supportive community that it is.
it is quite
And
supportive. Yeah.
it is surprising,
Better than
which
counselors.
yeah. And that's such a rare quality for social media or any really social interaction across the internet. And so initially I was just thinking, from a marketing standpoint, you remember I was talking about just taking a step. So we're already on Facebook and Instagram, we're on Reddit, we're on TikTok. And I said, well, I'm already here. I can just tie threads in too. So that's what made me initially get on it. And really the reason I'm going to stay on it is the opportunity to connect with lovely people like yourself, get support if I need it, and ask some questions if I need it, and kind of get community answers. So I really actually I like Threads a little bit more than I thought I would, to be honest.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, same here. Yeah. So that's why I run 3 accounts
Yeah.
nowadays. Yeah, so super busy. So I spent about 3 or 4 hours on writing threads yesterday. Because these days so it's official holiday in Korea. Yeah, a week.
Oh,
Yeah, a week official holiday. So
that's great. So does that mean that basically everybody just kind of shuts down and gets to have time with their family, or there's still some people working? How does that work?
maybe. Well, okay. Okay, so like me, I don't work on holidays, but it seems like, well, I learned that from threads, but yeah, so some people still work on, yeah, official holidays, and some people get together with their family members. Yeah, so it goes like
That's
that.
nice.
Yeah, different from person to person like that. Yeah. So and then yeah, so I just write on threads. So yeah, so speaking of your software, so and so who are the target customers or target clients? Then maybe so yeah, so if they just yeah, if the YouTube algorithm lead them to this interview, yeah, so you can let them know about your software system. So yeah, so how can you, so would you break down yeah, so your software?
Sure, sure. So, our ideal customer is a carrier, an owner operator, anyone managing a fleet, and or a dispatcher. And what this allows people to do is run all of their back office paperwork of their business in one manageable platform. And so, what it's going to do is it allows them, again, to track, manage, and grow their business by allowing them to kind of track their vehicles, their income, their expenses. They can even create PDFs of their invoices here. They can manage their documents. There's even reminders on these. So let's say like our car insurance expires yearly. So there'll be a little reminder saying, hey, your car insurance or your truck insurance is getting ready to expire. You need to manage this. So this really allows people the ability to not have to deal with Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, messing with formulas, things like that. It's all taken care of in one place for this. So it really saves people time, should save them a considerable amount of headache, and it should allow them to kind of spend more time on what matters more.
Okay, so it sounds like it's quite meaningful for the people. Yeah, and
It
then
is.
yeah, and then so is it kind of subscription system, or yeah, so your clients would subscribe it or they would just buy the whole software? How yeah, does it work?
It is subscription based,
Oh,
and we have a couple different tiers, but really it's more about like the data management side of it. So
mhm,
I'm sure, as you know, like storing data in the cloud can get really, really expensive, especially for
mhm,
people who have a lot of uploads of pictures and things like that. So our base tier is 19.99,
mhm,
and that gets you basically into the system and allows you kind of all pretty much all of the features. The next tier up is 39.99, and that basically allows you the ability to upload as much as you need to. And that's the thing is it's all cloud based. And so you can access it from anywhere. And at that point, you also can invite in different users. So let's say me as the owner, I want to have my team be able to access it. I can invite my dispatcher, I can invite my driver in. They can both contribute to the project, but they don't have to see what each other is doing. I can still see it, but it allows there's kind of this degree of separation.
I see. Okay. So actually that's quite new to me. So yeah, because I'm working in education field, but I love to listen to the stories from other fields. So yeah, and yeah, yeah.
A big selling point for us is we do all of this without running any ads on the platform. You're not going to have to like watch a video or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
And in the age of having your data sold to just about everyone, we absolutely refuse to sell your data.
Mhm. So it means some software companies sell the data.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here it's a huge prevalent problem. So let's say you sign up, and even
Uh-huh.
before you, let's say you just sign up just because you're interested in it, you get the free newsletter or whatever. A lot
Uh-huh.
of companies will take your first name, last name, and your email address and sell it to anybody who's part of a marketing company or agency just to see if they can cold call you.
Yeah, so that's why I get a lot of phone calls from yeah AI, especially these days AI calls.
Yeah.
So okay, I get it. So I just wonder, so and your software can yeah, so is okay, so then so people can use it through their smartphones.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So I wonder, so usually when it comes to software systems, they have several kinds of subscriptions, like like OpenAI. So there's a kind of a $20 subscription and a $200 subscription like that. So is it same for your software? Like is there only one subscription option or are there any other options?
There are two main and one side. And here's what I mean by that. There is a basic, there is a
Um,
premium, and then there's a corporate. So the corporate is meant for the fleets that have 10 or 15 vehicles and want to
mhm,
bring in 15 different users and dispatchers and drivers. We will do, something custom for them and kind of build them a package that's tailored exactly for them and make sure that they get kind of their own agent and get onboarded. And honestly, it'll probably be at that point, it'll probably be me. And so those are kind of the three tiers that we're predominantly working with.
Okay, I get it. So, do you have any plans for the future, like how to develop it or how to promote the service?
So right now, I'm active on all the social medias. And
Mhm,
so yes, we're running ads. Um, But I try to spend a little bit of time on social media, not only just kind of advertising what we are, but because I really like mentorship. I think that I have an obligation to kind of teach those around me. So there's a lot of times I just kind of get on different message boards or groups. People have genuine questions. I have no problem answering them. I mean, it's funny, I actually just had somebody in my DMs Friday asking me to help them find a load. So
Oh,
I tried to find them something. I don't think the guy wanted it because I think he wanted to stay in the state that he was in. But what I
uh-huh.
did do is, through all my networking, I know of a dispatcher who's currently looking for a client. I got
Mhm,
those two guys connected. So I do try to help out and offer genuine advice. I think one of the issues that's in this industry right now is you get some
mhm.
of these social media influencers who say, I made $2,000 this week driving 100 miles, and it's not true. That's not happening. And then they end up getting all these followers, and they end up telling people sometimes the wrong thing or it's
Uh,
inaccurate. And so I try to help be a steadying voice in this industry
uh-huh.
to kind of help offer the real guidance and real information for people who genuinely need the help.
Wow, that's awesome. And then, so have you thought of having your own YouTube channel or your own podcast channel? Have you?
I thought about the podcast. I don't know
Wow.
about YouTube. You know what? I was actually such a good boy. Look, I even have my little microphone on. I was a good
Oh,
boy.
that
Yeah.
looks nice. Yeah, it's a Bluetooth, right?
I thought about it. I
Uh-huh,
did. I think that could maybe come up something later. I think that's a later goal for me. I
uh-huh,
think
uh-huh,
I've got like if I had to speak about my short-term, kind of medium, midterm, and then long-term goals, my
uh-huh.
short-term goal is to continue to grow our subscriber base. My
Mhm.
medium-term goal, and for me, I'm thinking kind of like February, March, I'd like to buy another truck
Oh.
for the delivery side and let that continue to grow because I don't want to just be stagnant and not moving. I want to try to push forward in everything that I do.
Mhm, mhm,
And then if that goes well and it's successful, because that entails hiring another driver and going through all that process, that generally would eat up, I'd say 45 to 60 days. At that point, I think maybe that we'd have the conversation about the podcast, provided that the subscriber count continues to grow, things are being managed well. I think those would be like my three goals at this moment.
yeah, I can help you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because oh well, so my channel is just taking little baby steps, but the thing is my goal is just also so you can help me, yeah, so by being the guest, and I can help you like interviewing you, and then I can just yeah, so for the audience, so I can introduce your business to them, and then yeah, so I love connecting. Yeah, so
Me
I
too.
love to connect. Oh, really? Okay, good to hear. Yeah. So and then so what I'm thinking is also interviewing. And then I'm gonna just put it on my YouTube. And then later I'm thinking of like making a kind of academic programs like self-help courses Yeah, and
Sure.
then yeah, so it would be more yeah, so it would be like a 2 week or 4 week courses. Then yeah, so then it can just help people fundamentally. So yeah, so that's my plan. And then oh, and by the way, so I shared a list of questions. So were there any questions you'd like to answer?
I saw all your questions. I thought they were all great. Is there any questions to you? I'm happy to answer them all. If you want to go rapid fire style, we can kind of shoot them out there and I can
Uh-huh.
answer them real quickly, or I can
Okay.
elaborate. Whatever you want to do, I'm pretty easygoing.
All right, yeah, because of the reason why sent you a list of questions because I wanted you to choose your
Oh,
favorite
you want to?
questions. Yeah, but
Oh, I'll
yeah,
tell you
yeah,
what, I can choose. I still have it right here. How many do I should I choose?
well, so well, let's get started from the question you most like. Yeah, because I might ask you some follow-up questions on it.
You know what? Let's go with question 2 and 11 because I found those to be really thought-provoking questions. And
Oh,
so question two
uh-huh.
was, what did what does success mean to you when you first started out? And question 11 is, how has your definition of success changed since then? And so I kind of briefly spoke on that earlier. When we first started the delivery side of it, when you're brand new, no one really wants to work with you. And so at that point in time, success looked like, hey, somebody worked with us. Somebody's willing to do business with us.
Oh,
And so
uh-huh.
you get kind of excited that like, hey, somebody even, knows who we are, and that's amazing. And now success looks like, I run our financials weekly. I don't do it monthly. I'm not doing it quarterly. I feel like if when you do it by the week, you're able to catch any inconsistencies or know exactly where you stand pretty much on any given day. I feel like if you let things go for 30 days, things can kind of sneak up on you and they can get a little sideways. And so now for me, success looks like, are all the bills covered? Have we made a small profit? And furthermore, are the people that we are in charge of taking care of taken care of? And that goes for my dispatcher and that goes for my driver. And here's a perfect example. And I would do it 100 times over. My driver was about 12 hours from here.
Uh-huh.
Um, he was about a third, almost halfway through the country.
Oh.
And he needed to be home for a doctor's appointment, and I told him I would get him home. So first, I gave him my word. But
Mhm.
second, generally you find work that kind of brings you home, and that way you're not just driving home and spending a whole bunch of money. I couldn't find him work. I couldn't. And so I ended up telling him, and I lost about $250 in fuel on this. But I ended
Oh,
up telling him, just drive home. It's the right thing to do. I promised you would be home for this. He had a doctor's appointment he had to get to. And it's unfortunate because there's other people in this industry that would just say, tough luck. I hate it for you, but you're going to miss that appointment. And I make it
oh,
a point not to run my business like that. So I brought him home. I lost out on a little bit of money, but I
uh-huh.
think that taking care of people is it's my obligation. I to take care of him. So that's really what success looks like. Is there the money side of it, but is there also the human side of it too, and taking care of those that we're in charge of.
That's so touching. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean it. Yeah, because and then so the things you just told me, it reminds me of the story you told me at the very first time. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so how you started your business. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So do you have any mission statement for your business or a mantra? Like,
You know what's really funny? We do have a mission statement. I drew one up,
uh-huh.
but I'll just kind of give you a summary of it. We do everything the right way the
Mm-hmm.
first time, regardless of how difficult, painful, or how much extra effort it causes us. We
Mm-hmm.
also make it a point to do everything without emotion, which is
Mm-hmm.
not something that I personally have always excelled with, or something that I think that this industry still struggles with too. So I like to roundtable everything. And what I mean by that is everyone that is around me gets a seat at the table and gets an opportunity to have their voice heard. And it doesn't matter whether you're the janitor or, like my partner, I don't care. I want to hear everybody's opinion because there's a good chance that somebody may have a better idea than me. And I refuse to let my ego get in the way of making a good business decision.
Wow. Okay. So, have you thought about your business like in 10 years or in 5 years? Because I love to ask people this question because so in my classes I have my students to make dream board, and then
Yeah.
sometimes yeah, so I can see that. Well, so I keep in touch with them, and then sometimes I can see that they achieve the things on the dream board. So yeah, so that's why I love ask this question. So yeah, so do you have something on your mind?
I do. First of all, I love to hear that like there's other people out there who are putting things on a dream board and going through the steps and the motions to make that happen. I think that's really cool. So I'm
Um,
I'm really happy that you get to kind of be a part of that. If we had a dream board, we do have some goals, but if we had a dream board, exactly that, our short-term goal would be, you know, upping the subscriber count, but let's go maybe 2 years from now and beyond. We've picked up a third truck. To me, I don't really want any more than 5 trucks. I think after that, things can start becoming a little more complex. So I think between 3 and 5 trucks is our goal for that. And in terms of the software, the subscriber count is high enough to justify bringing in outside dedicated, 40-hour work week help. And that allows us the freedom to do that. Now, here's on a personal note, I actually literally just had a meeting yesterday. I've been invited to sit on the board of a company that's actually kind of doing something similar to you. They want to give out genuine advice and help to other people in the trucking community. And I think they're going to do a membership thing as well. But what they're going to do with that membership money is they're going to turn around and offer grants to people who need financial help, but they're doing the right thing. I can't really spill the beans on it too much because it's still kind of in the works. So my hope for the company is that, and then maybe as a personal hope for personal dream board, I could maybe lean more into that seat on the board and try to really help and mentor more people who could really use the help and guidance.
So you said mentoring those people, and can I ask yeah, so more details like how do you mentor the people, like giving some advice on only on business or on some other parts, like.
Sure. So mentorship is basically kind of any help that they need. So I mean, even like right now with our current with the delivery side, the transportation side, we offer free financial education and training. So we try to help our employees by understanding kind of some tax laws and things that they can do to kind of best help themselves.
Mhm,
So on that side, there's that mentorship. In terms of the board, and this is kind of I was telling you about this is kind of how I'm advertising as well, is anybody who has questions, whether it's how do I start my business?
mhm,
Where do I go? Technical help. A question about electronic logbooks. Basically, what that is in transportation, you can only drive for so long. They don't
mhm,
want you driving sleepy and hitting someone or hurting anybody. So there's
mhm.
different laws and regulations that go into that. So to me, mentorship is just kind of offering help wherever and however I can. It doesn't have to be specifically this perspective. There are a lot of lessons that are in transportation or just sheer success and just kind of life that can be applied to a great many things. So if I can help anyone, I genuinely and generally will. But I mean, at the same time, if I don't know something, I'm going to tell you, I don't know, but I'll do some research and we're both about to learn. So there's an opportunity for me to continue to grow and learn as well.
Wow, that's awesome. And oh, and you know what? Just this question just came up with me. So you're living in US, and then I just wonder the software you developed, it's for only the people living in the US, or is it kind of a software for yeah, the people all over the world?
You know, it's
Yeah, just
really
just came up
funny.
with me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I,
Just
I I love that question. My son has already brought this up to me.
oh wow.
And so here are the things that it can do, and here are the things that it can't.
Uh-huh.
One, like the privacy and data protection is already kind of in place and based on UK standards. However, everything is in kind of miles and gallons and
Mhm.
not kilometers and liters.
Um,
So if we were to open it up to other people, which that's not a big problem, there
mhm.
would definitely have to be, in my mind, and I'm sure he's going to tell me I'm absolutely wrong because I'm not a developer. So don't take this as law. Oh, look, you get some family pictures. I don't know why this camera does that.
Oh, wow, wow. Maybe
Um,
it wanted to
I
show me
I imagine there we would have to have like a sign-in page, and under that sign-in page, you choose your
the
country, and that kind of defaults to whatever your setup would be.
Actually, you know what? I think, yeah, so the audience who are watching this, they would love the things. I mean, the noise or the background noise, or yeah, just the ones I couldn't just recall the name of the book. Well, I guess the audience would like those details, I guess. So by the
Yeah.
way, yeah, and so speaking of your family, I remember that you texted me you were adopted and then recently you found let me check. You found your
Birth mother.
yeah. So yeah, can I ask?
Sure, sure. What do you
Uh,
just want the story, or do you have an individual question?
I just wanted to hear the story because yeah, and then I was quite impressed because I'm the person usually open up to
Yeah.
yeah, so the others even on the first meeting, and yeah, so it seemed like you're yeah, so you also yeah opened up your story, yeah, so and then yeah, I really yeah, so I'm yeah, so I want to just yeah, so listen to the story, like yeah, so
Okay.
how did it go?
So I was born in Bogota, Colombia, in South America,
Uh,
and was adopted at almost like 7 months old.
uh-huh.
Was brought here to the United States, naturalized, became a citizen, all that good stuff. What's really interesting about that is we basically had no idea who my birth mother was. There was, a name on the birth certificate, but think of like
Mhm,
one of the most common names in the country. So that, there's hundreds of thousands of people with the same last name.
mhm,
And so when I was younger, I really wanted to like know who my birth mother was and birth family. And as you get older, I just kind of didn't need that information. It'd be nice to have, but so I stopped looking really. And then so I ended up, do you know what 23andMe is?
no, I haven't heard of it. Can you break it down, please?
Yeah, yeah. So 23andMe is like one of those ancestry places where you give them like a swab of your DNA out of your cheek and
Oh,
they
I've
do
heard of
DNA.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I did that, and I'd say like 6 months later, my first cousin messages me and says, why are we related? How do we have different last names? And I
Wow.
told him, like, I gave him my birth mother's name because it's on the birth certificate. And he goes,
Uh,
well, I know exactly who that is. That's my aunt, your mother, and here's her information. And what's really funny is I feel like I would be one of those kind of people that wants to watch from afar and maybe kind of look and see and maybe ease my way into meeting someone new like that, especially something so deeply personal. No, I sent them a message, I sent her a message, and the next thing I know, all of my family is coming at me like, "Hi, how are you?" And they were so excited to meet me and all that. And it just spooked me. It did. I got so spooked that I kind of shut down a little bit. And
uh-huh.
it took me a while to kind of answer all the messages and talk to them. But I mean, come to find out, my birth mother is the second oldest of eight. I am the second youngest of five. And I'm trying to remember all these numbers. I know I have like 100 plus first cousins across the globe.
100 plus cousins.
First
Wow.
cousins across the globe. Like basically every single sibling of my mother's all had at least like five
Uh-huh.
kids, and they're all old enough to have their own kids at this point, and it's absolutely crazy.
Wow. Well, actually, this is a bit of my personal story about I have relatives, but I don't talk to them for some reason. So, yeah, so it's quite different, yeah, environment, yeah, for me. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
really crazy.
Yeah, so do you keep in touch with them these days?
I do not as much as I probably should, to be honest with you. Um,
Sure,
I
sure.
do. we've got a little WhatsApp group that kind of goes
Uh-huh.
and we kind of talk and say hi and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
So I keep in touch with them. I've been meaning to go down to Colombia and kind of visit and hang out. It's on the
Mhm.
list of things to do, but got to make sure the business is good first.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. Yeah. So for me, yeah. So long story short, so I have relatives on my mom's side and the father's side, but lots of things happen. So these days I don't talk to them. So anyways,
Mm.
but yeah. So I have my daughter, and then yeah. So. These days I'm just focusing on my business. So yeah. So thank you for joining with me, and then so maybe later, yeah. So we can just have other interviews, like when your software is updated or when you release new services. Then
Yeah, that would be so you're thinking like maybe some kind of an update?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or
Yeah.
it might be kind of a series because yeah, because so when we just have other interviews, then we can deal with other topics like in depth. So yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll
yeah, yeah.
see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. Absolutely.
Yeah. So nice talking to you.
It is nice talking with you. I can't wait to see how this turns out.